Chapter 1. Prophet and Surfer. Overture to Apocalypse. Overture, noun. 1. The opening music of an opera or play. 2. A suggestion made to elicit a response. September 22nd, 2015, Jerusalem, Israel, version 3.7. You know, in Switzerland they're punching holes in more than cheese, Prophet Dean tells Jim, his eyes fixed like Teflon on the hostile TV, blaring a news report of a stabbing in Jerusalem. CERN is puncturing holes in the space-time continuum, man. Jim stares at Prophet Dean, his gaze cold and unreadable, as if Dean were a cryptic puzzle on a computer screen. Prophet Dean, a self-proclaimed prophet with an obvious penchant for dramatic revelations, continues elucidating his odd God plot. CERN is opening the gates of hell. Jim suspects the so-called prophet is like the bedsheet prophets he reads about on Facebook. They come to Jerusalem, wrap themselves in crisp white hostile bedsheets, and suddenly make verbose auguries from news reports. Jim had one of those straight necks that made you think he didn't crane it for anyone or anything. His steady gaze exuded an aura of peacefulness, even in the most chaotic of situations. But this somehow strikes a nerve and produces a visible ripple in the timeline of his neck. Dean continues. The end won't begin in the Middle East like those religious nuts predict. It will begin right there at CERN on the border of Switzerland and France. Jim scoffs. You know, Prophet Boy, maybe you should go to Los Angeles next. Call yourself a weatherman and predict 7 days of sunshine. You are the proverbial boy crying wolf. Dean grins, unfazed. You got me. I'm an open book, an American prophet in Jerusalem, a storyteller. So, why are you in Israel, Surfer Jesus? Jim sighs. Coincidence, I guess. I had this random memory of being in Switzerland in high school, and then, going back recently, I had these weird dreams, and Albert Einstein said, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Dean cuts him off. A burst of hot, gusting wind whumps through the window, carrying an acute aroma of fresh-baked bread and baklava. The Islamic adhan, or call to prayer, echoes from the mosque speakers, pulsating an electrical current of ripples across the ancient golden wrinkles of Jerusalem. In the meantime, you have to watch this video that CERN made. They call it an opera, if you can believe it. It's titled Symmetry, Dean says, his eyes twinkling with mischief. Jim's attention is drawn to the screen. The video opens with the Large Hadron Collider, a machine so massive it makes one dizzy just to look at it. An angelic soprano voice soars above the ominous storyline of the end of the world. The dramatic and operatic theme of everything being sucked through a black hole straw into an abyss. Her heavenly cathedral reverb sound contrasting the rough, chaotic photon jets around the particle collider towards a big bang, annihilation, the creation of a black hole that will engulf the universe. The video cuts to a scientist dancing and studying a blueprint in an underground lab. A warning alarm sounds, and the superimposed caption reads, "In the search for the smallest particle, he discovers a dance of the cosmos." Version 8.6. The piercing call to prayer by the muezzin over the mosque loudspeaker echoes through the streets of Jerusalem. Prophet Dean leans forward, his eyes gleaming. Today is Yom Kippur, the highest Jewish holiday. It's the day your name is either written in the book of life or the book of death. That's the whole theme of the holiday, of the Yom. Today's the day you either live or die. I'm trying to save you, Jim. You should listen. I'm officially freaking out in my skin, Jim replies. You know, the Yom officially begins when the new moon is spotted by the high priests. But the new moon is 2 days late. Tonight, I'll be the one to point out the Yom to the high priests up at the Mount of Olives to prove to you I'm a real prophet, Dean boasts. You'll see. You obviously didn't get attention as a child, Jim teases. Then, the New York Mets will lose the World Series next month. 3 earthquakes will immediately follow the final game. The 3 earthquakes are God confirming to you that the apocalypse will begin in 5 years, in 2020, with a virus. That will be the beginning of the end. You have to listen to me. Your life depends on it. Jim raises an eyebrow. That sounds like the craziest thing I've ever heard. And the only way you'll survive the apocalypse is if you come with me to CERN first and help me tear down their Shiva statue with a golf cart, Dean says, a devilish grin spreading across his face. Nope, wait, never mind, that's it. That's officially the craziest thing I've ever fucking heard, Jim scoffs. Their mascot is a statue of Shiva the Destroyer. Can you believe it? The whole god of fucking destruction thing, it's so blatantly obvious. Literally, the god of the machine. We're going to rip that motherfucking Shiva statue down with a golf cart. Destroy it. The irony, Jim laughs nervously. You want me to destroy the Shiva the Destroyer statue at CERN with a fucking golf cart? That's God's plan for my life? No worries. I'll buy your ticket to Geneva, Dean replies, his tone serious. You have to follow God's plan for your life, Jim. Shiva the Destroyer is the Deus Ex Machina chapter of your story. July 4th, 2012. CMS Project, CERN. Cessy, France, version 2.1. The Prophecy of Time. Adam Glucklich stood before the Large Hadron Collider, an uncanny feeling in his gut that today might unveil the Higgs boson. As he fine-tuned the settings, a stranger emerged from the shadows. Adam Glucklich, the man declared with a commanding tone. I've been looking for you. Adam frowned. And you are? The man stepped forward, extending a hand. My name is Dean. I have something to show you, something that will change everything you think you know about time. Adam shook his hand. Curiosity piqued. How did you even get in here? And what could you possibly show me that I haven't already seen here? Dean smiled enigmatically. Not here, but in Israel. There's a prophecy, Adam, and it involves you. Before Adam could respond, Dean produced an ancient leather-bound book, flipping it open to a page marked with a red ribbon. Symbols and dates filled the page, with one date circled in red, November 2nd, 2033. This date, Dean pointed, marks the end of the world as we know it, unless we act. Adam's heart raced. Prophecies? The end of the world? It was absurd, yet something in Dean's eyes made him hesitate. Why me? Adam asked, his voice barely a whisper. Because you're destined to unlock time. Today, you've already discovered the Higgs boson. Check your data from the last hour, but beware, you'll make a grave mistake with Maya. Dean paused, glancing at his watch, a significant, almost ceremonial gesture. Time is of the essence, Adam. Remember this moment. Dean's words sent a shiver down Adam's spine. With that, Dean vanished, leaving Adam with a mix of awe and dread. His mind raced with unanswered questions. His watch suddenly felt heavier on his wrist, and the weight of an unknown future pressed down on him. As the echo of Dean's voice faded, Adam's surroundings seemed to warp, the air thick with the scent of impending change. Time, Adam whispered to himself, is no longer just ticking. It's waiting for my next move.